Hi, I'm Ranger Gail and this is my site tour of beautiful Bosham Quay. As you can see, it's a lovely area to walk around. We've got Bosham Channel out there and that flows into Chichester Harbour, which is a lovely place to go and walk and visit. We've got lots of birds that feed on the mudflats at low tide here. So at the moment we've got some brent geese feeding just over there, along with some curlew, which we also heard, and there's some godwits out there too. We're down here actually on the quay, and some people do like to park their cars down here, but if you were going to do that, I would suggest you check the tide times first, because this whole area here floods at high tide and several people have been caught out. But there is a nice, just up the road and on the right there's a nice pay and display car park you can park in. Okay, so we've walked up from the quay and we've walked up to towards this area, and as you can see there is a low tide path that does go across the salt marsh here. However, there quite often are birds that will be feeding either side of the path, so we tend to avoid going around across here. And what we like to do is we like to either walk along top there, or we can go up there and go along the sea wall, which is a nice walk. And also there's a few benches up there so you can sit down with your flask of coffee if you're having a nice walk. So we've now walked back down towards the actual quay, which you can see behind me there, and this is a lovely place here to stop and look at all the birds feeding. We've got some in the water and some out on the mud flats. Just over there I can see we've got a nice godwit feeding there, and also here just behind me we've got a lovely little egret just standing in the water there, and lots of swans and lots of gulls. So we've walked through the quay and now we have appeared at Bosham Quay Meadow, which is a lovely green space area. You can bring your picnic, have your picnic under a tree, have your picnic on one of the benches, making sure you take your rubbish home with you, obviously. And then if you like, you can just have a little pan around and you can see just over there we've got loads more birds feeding at low tide, and we've got some swimming as well, which is lovely. So you can enjoy sitting down, lovely view of the birds, lovely view of the scenery, fantastic. So I'm just going to have a look and see what we can see that's out feeding out here. So I can see down in front of me just here we've got a lovely common gull, which you'll see quite a few of those in the winter time all along the Solent coast and in Chichester Harbour area. Just over there I can see we've got a lovely oystercatcher. They're the black and white birds with the big long orange, I like to say carrot beak. They're really easy to spot even if you haven't got binoculars, so that's a good one to look out for. And then obviously we've got, I can see even without the binoculars, lots of brent geese feeding just in front of me here, and also all the way over there. There's so many brent geese having a great time feeding, and they're not being disturbed, which is even better. So we're going to start walking our way back now. So we can either go back that way through the quay where we came along, or we can go up that path over there in between that lovely building and the church, and that will take us around the back of a few houses and a nice pub, and then we can turn right and we'll be back on the quayside. So we've walked back round to the quayside and we're just going to have a look and see what birds we've got feeding just in front of me here, without disturbing them of course. So I can see we've got lots of our lovely brent geese all enjoying the buffet this morning, especially as the high tide's coming quite soon, so they need to feed and then get somewhere to roost at high tide. Lots of black-headed gulls too, and I have seen an oystercatcher, and I'll just see what else we've got out there. Oh, I can see a few redshank over there as well, having a nice feed. And then if I just turn around this way, just over there I can see so many mute swans. They're all having a big gathering, it looks, together and enjoying themselves. So that's the end of our tour. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you come and enjoy this beautiful site as much as I do, and look out for the birds when you're here. And if you want to see more videos, have a look at our YouTube channel where you can find lots more.